Our next speaker is a associate professor of sociology. She is a director of women and Latinx studies. She has taken many student delegations to Cuba. She travels to Cuba frequently and has just recently returned from Cuba, so she's going to be able to share with us her experiences and what she saw in Cuba the last couple of weeks in January. Before I hand the mics over to Cristina Perez, I want to just read a statement that came from the Cuban Foreign Ministry in response to the Trump executive order. In part, it says that Cuba is a country of brave and combative people. Imperialism is mistaken when it believes that economic pressure and the determination to cause suffering to millions of people will break their determination to defend national sovereignty and prevent Cuba from falling once again under U.S. domination. The international community faces the unavoidable challenge of determining whether a crime of this nature could be a sign of things to come, or whether sanity, solidarity, and the rejection of aggression, impunity, and abuse will prevail. So, Cristina, I give you the mics.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be here with you all on this panel and to speak about the Cuban reality. For more than 100 years, Cuba has stood in the way of U.S. power in the Americas. This did not begin with the 1959 revolution. It goes back to Cuba's wars for independence from Spain. José Martí warned that Cuban independence could not survive without resisting the growing power of the United States. From the start, Cuban sovereignty meant confronting empire. Cuba chose a different path in a region shaped by centuries of colonialism, slavery, and violence. The revolution treated healthcare, education, and food as basic rights, not privileges. After the revolution, the United States moved quickly to isolate the island. For 67 years, U.S. policy towards Cuba has functioned as a form of war, continued by one administration after another with the same goal, to destroy Cuba's socialist revolution. The blockade began in 1960 and was expanded under President Kennedy. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the Clinton administration tried to deliver the final blow through the Torricelli and Helms-Burton Acts, which punished foreign companies and countries for trading with Cuba. After a brief opening under Obama, Donald Trump reversed the course. Between 2017 and this year, his administration has imposed hundreds of new sanctions, returned Cuba to the state sponsors of terrorism list, and targeted the island's energy supply under what it calls maximum pressure. U.S. companies left, trade collapsed, jobs disappeared, poverty deepened. More than 1 million Cubans left. Trump then claimed that Cuba was on the brink of collapse, crisis created by those very policies. Sanctions imposed under Trump, maintained by Biden, intensified over the past year and have devastated the economy. More than half of public spending now goes to importing fuel and food. The result has been the worst electrical shortages since the fall of the Soviet Union. Medicine shortages are constant. Pharmacies stand empty. Doctors and pharmacists receive only a fraction of the medicines their communities need. The fuel crisis is deep. Daily power outages last more than 12 hours. In the summer and fall of last year, fuel shortages disrupted garbage collection, leading to outbreaks of dengue and chikungunya. Hospitals were overwhelmed. Dozens died, including children. And then last fall, the hurricanes hit eastern Cuba, making the crisis even worse. U.S. state violence and aggression are expanding, both at home and abroad. Inside the United States, thousands of people have been kidnapped and forcibly taken into custody. ICE and Border Patrol have shot and killed people in cities across the country from Los Angeles and Chicago to Minneapolis. Beyond U.S. borders, this violence continues through illegal military actions. Last fall, bombings in international waters murdered at least 125 people. The violent abduction of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and First Lady Celia Flores on January 3rd, along with the murder of 32 Cubans in the attack, have increased this violence. Over the past year, Mexico became Cuba's main oil supplier. This week, that lifeline was reduced. On Thursday, Trump signed an executive order calling the government of Cuba an unusual and extraordinary threat to U.S. national security, threatening additional tariffs on countries that sell oil to Cuba and a total and complete blockade on oil shipments. Projections suggest that Cuba's stores of fuel may last only a few more weeks. The consequences are clear. Fuel shortages devastate electricity, water systems, transportation, hospitals, and schools. Without water, pumps fail, communications break down, and daily life becomes a struggle. This is collective punishment, using hunger, darkness, and disease to break the will of an entire people. The empire uses many tools: bombs, coups, kidnappings, murder, and sanctions to punish those who resist. These policies are creating humanitarian crisis, and then they blame the victims. The Cuban people continue to resist. The cost has been immense. What is needed now is more solidarity, an end to the blockade, removal from the terrorism list, and the restoration of normal and economic diplomatic relations. Enough. Basta. Ya.